Welcome back to Lynn's Spotlight Daily, your daily scoop of entertainment buzz. Timothée Chalamet in The Roles That Got Away, A Tale of Rejection, Spandex, and Alternate Realities. Timothée Chalamet. The cheekbones. The floppy hair. The ability to look heartbreakingly poetic while doing literally anything, from eating a peach to simply staring into space. He's the poster boy for indie cinema's emotionally tortured leading man and, increasingly, a mainstay of blockbuster epics. From Call Me By Your Name to Dune, Chalamet has built a career on nuanced performances and enviable jawlines. But plot twist, even Timmy doesn't always get the part. Yes, even Hollywood's favorite sensitive soul has been rejected. Gasp. Shock. Horror. It's true. There are actual roles, big ones, that he auditioned for but didn't land. Recently, some of these have come to light, and the revelations have been both surprising and oddly reassuring. Turns out, even the great Timothée has had to hear the word no. Let's take a stroll through an alternate cinematic universe where Chalamet almost played your favorite superhero, nearly missed out on his breakout role, and barely made it to the dunes of Arrakis. Ready? Let's dive in. 1. Spider-Man in Spider-Man: Homecoming, 2017. That's right, Timothée Chalamet once auditioned to play Peter Parker. Twice, in fact. Yes, he wanted to don the Spidey suit, shoot webs from his wrists, and swing across New York while balancing high school drama and supervillain showdowns. He described the audition process as terrifying, which is exactly what Peter Parker would probably say if he had to perform for a panel of Marvel executives. In a moment of vulnerability, which he's basically trademarked at this point, Chalamet admitted that after the second audition, he considered calling back and begging for another chance. His agent wisely stopped him, citing Sean Young's legendary, and unsuccessful, attempt to land Catwoman by showing up to the studio in full costume. In the end, the role went to Tom Holland, who brought boyish charm, gymnastic talent, and a knack for Marvel-style banter. Holland is Spider-Man now. But imagine if Chalamet had landed it. What would that Spider-Man have looked like? Probably a little more existential. A little more poetic. Picture this: Peter Parker sitting on the rooftop, writing in a leather-bound journal, whispering quotes from Rainer Maria Rilke between battles with the Vulture. A Spider-Man who doesn't just struggle with responsibility, but writes haikus about it. Would he have made us cry during the Uncle Ben flashbacks? Absolutely. Would he have remembered to punch the bad guys? Maybe. Maybe not. But there would have been feelings, and we would have felt them deeply. 2. Elio in Call Me By Your Name, the role that almost slipped away. It's hard to imagine Call Me By Your Name without Timothée Chalamet's Elio. The floppy-haired, piano-playing, emotionally complex teen in northern Italy is basically the role that turned Chalamet into a household name, and a Tumblr obsession. But believe it or not, he almost didn't get it. Director Luca Guadagnino reportedly considered multiple young actors for the role. For a long time, the casting process was uncertain. It wasn't until much later that Chalamet was officially cast, and even then, there was some hesitation. Could he carry the emotional weight? Could he speak Italian, play piano, and wear short shorts convincingly? Spoiler: yes, yes, and yes. And thank goodness he got it. Because the performance gave us some of the most tender, aching moments in modern cinema. The fireplace scene, the monologue about first love, and yes, the infamous peach moment. If someone else had played Elio, would Call Me By Your Name still have worked? Maybe. But would it have made us collectively weep into our summer fruit? Probably not. 3. Paul Atreides in Dune, a sand-filled scramble. Here's another role that could have slipped through his fingers, if they hadn't been clenched in fear of massive sandworms. Denis Villeneuve's Dune was a high-stakes, high-budget sci-fi opera with a fan base ready to dissect every casting decision. Naturally, a lot of actors wanted the role of Paul Atreides. It's the kind of part that defines a generation. Think Luke Skywalker meets Hamlet with a sprinkle of interstellar brooding. Although Chalamet eventually nabbed the role and turned it into a career-defining performance, he wasn't always the obvious choice. Other names were floated. Studio discussions happened. Chalamet had to prove he could carry a blockbuster, while still maintaining the tragic sensitivity of a teen forced into cosmic warfare. And he did. From the haunted stare across the sands to the whispered internal monologues, Chalamet's Politritis gave us space sadness at its finest. But it could have been someone else. Imagine a version of Dune without Timmy whispering about destiny with his hair dramatically tousled by desert wind. Unthinkable. Hollywood rejection, even the greats get twisted. Let's be honest, rejection sucks. Whether it's a failed audition or your crush not texting back, it stings. But in Hollywood, rejection is basically a rite of passage. Even the most successful actors have had doors slammed in their faces before finding the right one wide open. And Chalamet? He's used those no's to carve out a career that's uniquely his. If he had become Spider-Man, we likely wouldn't have gotten his beautiful breakdowns in Beautiful Boy, his charismatic Laurie in Little Women, or his culinary cannibal in Bones and All. He might have been stuck in spandex for a decade instead of dancing through the chocolate factory as Wonka. So maybe not getting the part was actually a win? Honorable mentions, roles we wish he'd play, just for fun. Since we're living in a world where anything can happen, we're looking at you, multiverse. Here are some imaginary roles we'd love to see Timmy take on. Sherlock Holmes, the soft boy edition, solving crimes while journaling about how sad the world is. Young Severus Snape, because no one does painfully misunderstood like Chalamet. Add a cape and some wand waving, and boom, tragic icon status, unlocked. Disney Prince, preferably in a live-action remake where he doesn't fight dragons but reads them poetry until they cry. The next Doctor Who, traveling through time and space, brooding existentially in a turtleneck, and saving planets with sheer emotional resonance. Honestly, Hollywood, the possibilities are endless. Chalamet's real superpower? Emotional range. He may not have a cape, yet, but Timothée Chalamet doesn't need one. His superpower isn't flight or invisibility, it's the ability to make audiences feel. Whether he's quietly sobbing, shouting in anguish, or simply looking longingly out a window, he taps into a vulnerability that's rare, especially in young male actors. He's proven that being soft isn't weak. That sensitivity can be powerful. That you can lead an epic without losing your humanity. That's why he stands out in a sea of action stars and overly cool heartthrobs. He's not trying to be the guy, he's just being himself. And that's what makes him magnetic. And who knows? Maybe he'll still wear the suit someday. We're not giving up hope just yet. With Hollywood deep into the multiverse trend, who's to say we won't get Spider-Man, Indie Edition, where Timmy's Peter Parker juggles saving the city with a poetry reading downtown. He could still get a cape, or a wand, or a lightsaber. But even if he never plays a conventional superhero, he's already playing the most Timothée Chalamet role possible, a unique, unflinching, emotional storyteller. So here's to the roles he didn't get, because they led him to the ones we'll never forget. And if the day ever comes when Chalamet is announced as the next Spider-Man, we'll be first in line, with a turtleneck, a tear, and a peach in hand. Who's your current favorite Hollywood star? Drop it in the comments, we love hearing from you. This is Lynn's Spotlight Daily, and we'll see you in the next Spotlight.